so the Cinnabon Prince, who will be the Burger King. What do you think? Is this good? I'm not Trump with the nicknames. All right,
if I can't. It could be good if I got it. Is it Cinnabon because he's doughy and fleshy?
Yeah, he's a rotund fella.
It's called the Smokin' Hat Podcast.
Who's going to win this battle with the lumberjacks?
Yeah, controversy is just good.
By no account is any of this true.
International politics.
Oh, but
like, you have to be aware of the optics.
You gotta be aware. And like, dude,
I don't really wash my hands ever.
We lost a significant amount of our deposit.
Those who have perpetrated this hoax.
History.
The young Turks, probably the old Turks by now.
Three coups a decade or something.
But there's actually rules against me being involved in domestic politics.
And anything else that grabs them.
You guys know that Eric Adams is the mayor
currently? Yeah.
Donald J. Trump, he's got nothing to hide.
They don't know what they're doing.
You're like, oh, okay, that track's a little bit better.
Okay, I gotta remember that.
We sure hope you enjoy it.
Market just dwindles, so like kids go home for Thanksgiving, and then it's like, I mean, already it's slowed down a lot just from like the month we've been going for the past month and change, and like daylight savings I think hurts a lot, and people just, it gets colder and darker. I mean, we could still grow for sure. It's a question of, is it worth going to the market for the time?
Now, I hear that daylight savings only exists for you people. And by you people, I mean Irish Catholics. No, for farmers. Is that true? Do you benefit from it?
No, you just, I don't really, I don't know where that originates.
Benjamin Franklin, I heard.
Like, I can see it making more of a difference before artificial light, but like, I just adjust my biggest thing. The hours I work are predominantly dictated by heat, by weather conditions. So I have to start early enough in the summer. That's the biggest thing, is I got to start like as soon as it's light enough to work. And it doesn't really matter when that is for me. I mean, I guess for having employees who got to get here from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And in fact, that would be the opposite, right? Because we'd want the fall back to happen earlier so
you get more light in the morning, right? That's what it generates.
In the fall, correct, when you fall back. Okay. But it doesn't really matter if you're farming, you're working the hours that there's daylight. It doesn't, when that is, doesn't really matter so much. I think it's probably more about, like, at this point, it's more relevant for like school kids and stuff,
right? Not
farmers. I mean, I can wake up at 5 or wake up at 6, or I can wake up at 7. I mean, we've been starting at 8 a.m. just because we're not hurting for the man hours, and some days it's cold in the morning, so it's better to have an 8 a.m. start where people aren't freezing their butts off for the first hour of the day.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know exactly where that ties into farmers, and I'm sure there's different types of farmers who have different things they're trying to
Wi-Fi
accomplish.
tractors that operate in the dark anyway.
Yeah.
Are you heavily automated? Do you have robots going through your greenhouses at all hours of the night?
No, the most high-tech thing we have are these like garden, like hose threaded timers. And one of them just broke, and I need to update that system because these things are cheap and they last about a season. But that allows me to have like set up Bluetooth with my phone and set this thing goes off, set zone 1 off, at 9 a.m. every day. And this zone 2 goes off at 10 p.m. every night. And that's about the heaviest automation. We have solar powered lights on the Goat Palace. Those turn on when it gets dark out.
The Goat Palace. It's where the goats live?
Yeah, the little goat shed.
That's cool.
And
how many goats?
Well, we traded in. Did I tell you this last week? We traded in one and picked up
a wife or a child.
We got rid of the horniest one, who's now been castrated 3 times.
How does that work?
Doesn't seem to take. Well, originally one of his testicles didn't fall, and we went and waited, and then we tried it, and so that was the second time about like 6 or 7 months ago.
Wow.
And he just continued to get like more buckish, and he's getting in the way all the time and being a nuisance. So we talked to the guy. He's like, yeah, no, bring him back. So we take some others. I don't care. So we brought him back, watched him get castrated again, thrown back in with the other like castrated, the kind of buckish guys. And within 1 minute, it's so funny. It's a bloodless castration. So it's basically like a clamp that breaks the blood vessel connecting the scrotum.
Vasectomy. Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially like a external vasectomy.
Are you sure he's not going to that clinic in Houston that can reverse it? Because I see that on the airplanes. They're like, did you make a mistake? Come to Houston. We can fix that.
I did not know that's a thing. That's a
It's like
that's
one
a hilarious buyer's remorse to have.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would need a couple more kids, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. The third one, if it takes, we'll take him back. But he's been just aggressive. A little bit like so. We got 3 does. So now we have 2 bucks. 2 wethers, which are castrated males, and 3 does. And so we're up to 5, and the feminine to masculine balance of the farm is once again heavily on the feminine side.
It's probably for the best, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Calms things down. Yeah.
3 hens, 2 female dogs, 3 female goats.
Okay. It's a pretty female place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out how to gild books at scale. And by scale, I mean like 10 at a time instead of 1 at a time.
Sure, that makes a big difference.
So to gild a book, right, you need like intense pressure. It needs to like function as a block of wood. You need to sand it down, 100.
Are you using
400.
like real gold?
No, gold foil, like a high-end gold foil. But no, I'm not using gold leaf. I could, but it's like really impractical for the price point I'm aiming for. It would get expensive. But trying to do this at scale, and I'm trying all these different methods to generate pressure. Do you know about Send Cut Send?
No.
So it's like a super cool website where if you need hunks of steel or things quickly fabricated, they have a parts builder where you don't need to know CAD. So I say I want a 4 millimeter hunk of stainless steel, and it needs to be whatever I'm going to do, like 12 by 8. And then I need holes in it at these points.
So they have a CNC machine and they've idiot proofed it for you.
They've idiot proofed it for me. Yeah, exactly. So, and they can do, huge, because I have CNC machines in here, but I can't do, stainless steel and stuff. So they have a huge operation and they'll turn it around in like 3 days. So I have cabinet clamps right now, and I'm trying to generate enough pressure, and they have like little screwdrivers on the end, and I tighten it up, but I've been having a lot of imbalances in the pressure throughout the thing. But I'm using MDF boards, but they have a little bit of flex in them and a little bit of give. So I'm trying to line them with silicone pads and with foam pads. It's not working, but I think part of the problem is the clamps. So I'm going to get 2 steel plates, run rods through them, and just screw them into each other like endlessly until I can generate enough pressure. But I'm going through this on Amazon. I'm looking at rods. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to turn it, what's going to go in between.
Yeah.
And in my searches, I have been served a $4,000 Chinese machine run by like a 15-year-old. And it's just like ingenious. They stack 10 books in like a little ingress on this thing. And then there's a belt here, and there's 2 machines on the belt. One of them's a sander, and one of them's a heat element with a foil roll. So you just like wave the sander across, it slides down the belt, and then the books are all stacked up, and it just sands down the side. And then you pull on the left side, and the heat element gilds. And I'm watching it, and there's like a 15-year-old Chinese kid who like pulls out a stack of, it takes him like 10 seconds, and he's like perfectly gilded.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. So, I looked into it. I think I have to go to China, or it's going to come in a shipping container to California, and I got to figure out how to get it here.
LTL freight is not cheap. Wow.
Yeah.
But Sen Cut Sen, that looks pretty cool. I wonder what the thickest thing they can do.
They can do some pretty hardcore stuff. It gets more expensive, obviously,
Sure.
the bigger you go. But like, yeah, I broke a piece on the copy machine, and I needed this little doodad made out of stainless steel to hold a finger up against the thing to wipe the toner off. And I just made it on there. It was like $3.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it came like 2 days
That's
later.
cool because there's a lot of times you need just like a small piece of metal in the right shape to like make a whole thing work.
Right. And I don't want to get the lubricating thing out and try to drill it and like, you know, bust my hand open with a clamp or something. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. So they're coming next week because these are bigger plates, and then that one you get a little bit of a delay. But yeah. So anyway, Sen Cut Sen, very helpful.
Good to have in my back pocket. Yeah.
And they do different materials. They do, you know, phenolic board, Delrin, like little plastic derivative boards and stuff or whatever, you know, and they do plywood, MDF, birchwood. They can do all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I've used it a bunch and it's been very helpful. I got steel plates. I have a vertical press that I made out of a shop press for making ball bearings, I guess, for cars, but I bought it at Harbor Freight, sawed off the nut or whatever was hanging there, and then I just bolted on steel plates, and now I have like an 8-foot clamp. And it's pretty sweet. Yeah, and the whole thing cost me like $300.
Yeah.
And getting like a real vertical press like that, thousands of dollars, like a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's lots of funny stuff. Like this would be great for like DIY bike community stuff, because there are a lot of things it's like, oh, this like derailleur hanger bolt is impossible to find because, you know, it's from an Italian company that doesn't really do anything anymore. And so like there's some guys who've just got buckets of like parts that will try and find it and sell it to you on eBay for $20. But usually it's like, you know, it's not that specialized in what it actually does. It's just that whoever made it at scale, you know, it's hard to find.
It's hard to find. They probably didn't sell it individually. You may be called under warranty and they probably just don't have it anymore. So yeah, super helpful.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Good to know that. Oh, countersinking. They do bending. Lots of stuff.
They're threading the bolt, the holes in the plate for me so I can run the rods through there. So yeah, It's pretty great. And it's been all like tolerances and stuff. It's all been really good, the stuff I've gotten so far.
Wow.
So
well, good for them. That's a useful company.
Yeah. CNC machining's pretty amazing.
It is.
The level of automation that like you can achieve. Because I'm just hoping, I'm like, does anybody have a parts builder where I have a dumb idea, but where am I going to get steel plates without calling a guy and like having a very complex conversation and then getting, you know, it's just like, put it in, here's your credit card, it'll be here Thursday. Like, oh, it's great.
Yeah, it's better than like screwing around the scrap yards and then being like, how can I bend this?
Right. And they can bend. They do bends. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Cool.
Hell yeah. All right, cool. Should we jump in?
Yeah, man.
Mohammed bin Salman came to America today.
People are not happy.
Cool. All right, so MBS, Khashoggi Bonanza. All right, so I'm workshopping this. You can tell me what you think. All right, so I'm calling him the Cinnabon Prince. No, hang on. We're gone. The joke won't land if I'm not on the screen. There we go. That's what we like. Okay, so the Cinnabon Prince, who will be the Burger King. What do you think? Is this good? I'm not Trump with the nicknames. All right,
if I can't. It could be good if I got it. Is it Cinnabon because he's doughy and fleshy?
Yeah, he's a rotund fella. I think he's on Ozempic now. It seems like he's down a little bit, but
and he's Burger King.
He will be the Burger King.
Yeah, you know, somebody might just laugh because it's too fun. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of words in a row to an authoritarian leader, right? It feels correct.
Yeah.
All right, so this was him like 2018 when he had his glow up. He came to the U.S. He hung out with Mike Bloomberg. They went to a Starbucks, I think, on the Upper East Side, and he got to see how normal people live. Today, he came to the White House. And let's take a look. Donnie really rolled out the red carpet. I think he said it's the biggest presidential welcome they've had yet. It does feel like the end of Star Wars.
Yeah,
right?
the kind of trumpety.
The trumpety. I feel like we're gonna cut
brass.
to Han Solo, and he's like standing in the background, like
Yeah. Or that there's like that super weird wipe at the end of Star Wars. Yeah, the New Hope where they just have the
right.
The C-3PO and R2-D2, I think. Anyways,
Yeah, they get medals for saving the galaxy. The award ceremony.
Who was I talking to who said she watched the first 3 Star Wars because of her boyfriend at the time, and then stopped because they stopped dating. So I was like, so you haven't seen the original trilogy? She's like, no, I just saw the first 3.
The first 3 is in the 2001
the
Naboo.
Canonically, yeah.
Yeah, got it.
I was like, what?
You know what? I don't hate the second one. The Clone Wars is not bad.
Yeah.
Third one doesn't do it for me, and there's parts of the first one that are good, but the Natalie Portman stuff. I mean, she's gorgeous. I'm a huge fan of all that, but the dialogue's pretty rough.
Yeah, I was like, why? Yeah, I was like, you should at least watch New Hope, but whatever. Neither here nor
But
there.
the opening to the first one is all about tariffs. Have you seen this?
The trade wars, the Federation, the Trade Federation.
Yeah, they're doing the Federation first. They're tariffing the Outer Rim. So yeah, make the Federation great again, I think. Okay, so that's him coming in, and then we had an F-35 flyover. That would be the end of the flyover.
It's pretty loud. We had a B-2 bomber go over the farm a couple weeks ago. They had for a home game.
For the Ole Miss game.
Yeah, it was so freaking loud. And I saw it, and I was like, I bet it was something to do with this freaking football game. I was like, yep. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars of fuel so that some people can look in the air for about 10 seconds and go, cool.
SEC coaching is very similar to Saudi palace intrigue.
Whoa.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think you're onto something there.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin was in Baton Rouge last night, seen in parking lots, but then today he was back at Ole Miss. He went on a TV show to show that he was still at Ole Miss. But his wife was in Florida, in Gainesville, looking at houses. So he's kind of Game of Thrones here. He's kind of keeping his eye on everything.
Yeah, a lot of money, a lot of backroom deals, a lot of sneaking around.
A lot of people hanging out at private airports and like taking pictures of tail numbers.
Right.
And then they're researching where the planes came from. And then they're trying to figure out what's what. That's always the big thing. It's like a plane just left Oxford, Mississippi, heading to Gainesville. Could this be Lane? And then it goes around and a million people see it. Yeah, it's got to be hard to be a private jet owner these days. People are keeping an eye on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that music is silly. I bet they both loved it though.
Okay, so then they went inside. Oh no, they didn't go inside yet. Donnie showed him the wall of presidents. So here they are looking at Truman.
Pictures of former presidents and dignitaries there that have served this great nation. And you see the Saudi Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, with him.
And he's like, Harry Truman was the first one to use the bomb. I'm going to give you the bomb if we can make a hotel in the Maldives. You're going to be just like Harry. So yeah, Harry Truman hanging out. I assume it goes before FDR. I just can't tell by the poll.
Yeah.
But, must be a long wall. I don't really have a sense of like the geography of the White House. But then they got to President Otto Penn. If you can see Donnie just stop, it's great.
He's like such a slow burn to get to his sick joke.
He's telling him about Carter and like the Iran hostage crisis.
Yeah.
When they were getting to the auto pen, but first I got to tell you, there was a sandstorm. The helicopters never made it. So they're going down the Hall of Presidents. Then they go inside. And first thing, the Saudis are getting F-35s.
F-35s that are being sold to Saudi Arabia. Are these the same ones that are being used by the Israeli military? And if so, how does that allow for the qualitative military edge for Israel? And then I want to ask you, because you brought up the plight of the Palestinians, are you aware of relocation flights to South Africa that are taking place right now?
Which flights?
There are relocation flights that are taking place. Some Palestinians are being charged up to $2,000
I'm not going
a
to
seat.
South Africa for the G20 because I think their policies on the extermination of people are unacceptable. So I'm not going. So I won't refer to anything having to do with South Africa. South Africa has behaved extremely badly. But
So I think we can say that video we watched earlier in the summer when they brought him the golf course book and they brought in all the golfers.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Like ineffective.
I will say that when you look at the F-35 and you're asking me, is it the same? I think it's going to be pretty similar. Yeah. This is a great ally, and Israel's a great ally. And I know they'd like you to get planes of reduced caliber. I don't think that makes you too happy. They've been a great ally. Israel's been a great ally. And we're looking at that exactly right now. But as far as I'm concerned, I think they are both at a level where they should get top of the line. Yes, please.
Okay. This is one of their moments where, like, sort of in principle, Donnie's right, but also, you know, maybe neither of them should have F-35s. We're going to give them to Israel. And these are also our friends. I'm like, well, that's good. Let's put Israel on equal footing. I mean, with other allies, that seems reasonable. But
if you're going to give both people the same, weapons platform, so that they continue to be at whatever the status quo was, and you're selling off this super expensive, like, how far behind is that project and the cost overruns? It's like the biggest debacle in military acquisitions history or something like that.
And they get shot down in like war games or whatever a lot.
And you can sell them off to two people, and then nothing, the balance has not changed. I guess that's
mutually assured, F-35s happening. Okay, so F-35s. Now here's Mohammed bin Salman talking about joining the Abraham Accords.
I believe having a good relation with all of these countries is a good thing. And we want to be part of the Abraham Accord, but we want also to be sure that we secure a clear path of two-state solution. And today we have a healthy discussion with Mr. President that we're going to work on that to be sure that we can prepare the right situation as soon as possible to have that. We believe having a good relation with all of these.
Who's Nadeem Malik?
That's a great question. I couldn't find this clip in the regular clippers. This one didn't get clipped for whatever deep reason, but I found it on a bunch of Palestinian, related accounts. But it's just interesting that Trump, because of his love for Gulf monarchies, he also loves Israel, but it is leading him, like, the Palestinians have leverage through the Gulf monarchies.
Right.
Perhaps. I mean, who knows how credible any of this is and how serious, Saudi Arabia is about any of it. But in the Oval Office, Trump has to hear from somebody who says two-state solution out loud, which I don't think he would hear a lot otherwise. Okay, so those are sort of the relatively positive things. Here is Donnie complimenting MBS's progress on human rights.
I'm very proud of the job he's done. What he's done is incredible in terms of human rights and everything else. And he's the Crown Prince, the future king, and I just want to pay my
Burger King
respect to your father,
Cinnabon Prince.
An amazing man. I met him early on. He greeted me at the airport at an age that was pretty high up there. and it was about 117 degrees, and he was standing on the red carpet as I came out of the plane, and he's amazing. And when I met his brilliant son, who was at the Oval Office, shortly thereafter, you came in representing the country, and I called the father. I said, "This guy is fantastic." And I don't know if that helped you or hurt you, but obviously it couldn't have hurt too much because here you are, right? So I'm very proud of the job.
All right, so we're praising. Hang on.
In terms of human rights and
got it. Thank you so much.
The Crown Prince.
Sorry, my pals at StreamYard. Okay, so that is Donnie saying they've made tremendous progress on human rights. Here is Human Rights Watch's latest update on Saudi Arabia. He has consolidated political and economic power as chairman of PIF, a wealth fund that benefited from rights abuses, high-profile sports and entertainment. Migrant workers, including on PIF-funded projects, face widespread abuses under the kafala system. Saudi Arabian authorities harshly repress dissent, including by handing down long sentences or the death penalty after unfair trials on charges related to peaceful online expression. And if you don't take the libs over at HRW seriously, here is the State Department's report from last year. Executive summary. No significant changes in the human rights situation in Saudi Arabia. Significant human rights issues include credible reports of arbitrary killings, disappearances, torture, cruel, inhuman, degrading treatment or punishment, arbitrary arrest and detention, transnational repression, restrictions of freedom, unjustified arrests, prosecution of journalists, restriction of religious freedom, prohibiting trade unions, or significant restrictions on workers' freedom of association. The government did not take credible steps or actions to identify and punish officials who committed human rights abuses in any verifiable way. So, Donnie might have been off on that one. Now we get to Khashoggi and business interests. This is where the whole thing takes a bit of a turn.
Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president, is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst in the business. But I'll answer your question.
No, I won't.
With a family business, I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia, actually. I'm sure they could do a lot. And anything they've done has been very good. That's what we've done. We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful. I decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. And I've made America more successful by far than it ever was, and that it ever could have been, no matter who was president. There would be nobody bringing in $21 trillion that I could say. Now, as far as
Look at all this fake gold.
I just keep looking at the Home Depot thing right over his shoulder. $58 plus the gold leaf.
Lots of spray paint.
Lots of spray paint.
We're doing so good.
I'm not saying they didn't do a good job. I'm just saying I don't think that's a gold fixture.
Somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're
talking about Khashoggi.
Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen.
He should have been killed. Somebody had to do it.
Things happen.
Embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
Don't embarrass our guest. Okay, so there's Donnie talking about Khashoggi. Here we go. New York Times. Saudi Crown Prince is held responsible for Khashoggi killing in U.S. report. The Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman approved the assassination of the Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi in 2018, according to an intelligence report that the Biden administration released on Friday that offered the world a reminder of the brutal killing. An elite team of operatives carried out the killing. The team reported directly to Prince Mohammed, cultivated a climate of fear. It goes on. But yes, so Mohammed bin Salman says later on, I don't think I have the clip, but he says they're going to work to not let that happen again. I don't know what that means. We're not going to kill Jamal Khashoggi again.
Definitely not going to dismember anyone.
Sure. All right. And then in terms of not having any deals with the Saudi Arabian government, here is a quick rundown. The company has active projects in Saudi Arabia, in Jeddah and Riyadh via licensing its brand to Saudi developers. I think they just went into a new one in the Maldives like today. The Saudi sovereign wealth apparatus, the PIF, is involved in deals and investment patterns that overlap with Trump's circle. The $2 billion that went to Jared Kushner's thing, the golf stuff, which is all funded by the PIF, plays at a lot of Donald Trump's golf courses. Yeah.
The PIF also bought out EA Games for like $55 billion, like one of the biggest money-making. They're kind of like, I think they're huge, but their reputation is also pretty shitty in the gaming community. They're just like this huge monolith that has turned everything into pay-to-play, like Fortnite-ified bullshit.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't kept up. I know they have all the sports games. That's
probably that's the big thing. But their model has been increasingly like, how do we pump out like subscription stuff, or how do we get more money from people beyond just the game? It's like, you can buy the weapons or the skin. You can make your
skins.
You
I
can
would
make
always hear from the kids about skins.
Yeah, you got to get your Homer Simpson skin or your Labubu or whatever brand tie-in bullshit.
Yeah,
they're seen as being pretty heavily responsible for that.
Yeah, in the golf tour, I mean, they're very insidious, right? They're buying up the women's European golf tour, the ladies European tour. So all these kind of low-hanging fruit, I think, businesses that probably aren't very profitable, but will put the name next to something that sounds good, and they don't care if they make any money on it. So the ladies European tour is now the Saudi PIF ladies European tour. They have that golf thing that I think has lost $1 billion in the US alone, or maybe outside the US, but something. It's hemorrhaging money. But they pay appearance fees or course fees when they take over Trump's courses. And I think they've played it 4 or 5, and it's like maybe $8 million ish per tournament. It says last year, the Trump family collected an estimated $50 million from Saudi connected deals. His family business had concurrent commercial relationships with Saudi-linked parties. The May 2017 letters of intent for Saudi arms purchases occurred during Trump's presidency. They are benefiting from Gulf investments while he's making foreign policy decisions.
Dude, Abdurrahman Manif, do you ever read Cities of Salt?
No, I think you've told me about it.
He'd be rolling in his grave at all this.
What does it mean? In what way?
Well, so he wrote, I think it was like a trilogy, but the first one's usually the one people read. It's kind of this epic saga of like an unnamed Gulf monarchy from like, it starts with just like an oasis, a tribe in an oasis, and then chronicles this family through the arrival of the like first oil explorers. It's kind of like 100 Years of Solitude. It's not magical realism, but it's the same idea as tracing the family through all these like historical epochs and what happened. So it's like that, but he was just like a devastatingly sharp critic of the unsustainability of like a Gulf monarchy pattern. The oil money. He's like I think he's got some famous line about like all these skyscrapers when they run out of power are just like cooking people alive on the inside because there's no more energy to power the air conditioning. And I think that has something to do with the name, the Cities of Salt. They're just like,
yeah, it's really interesting to see how effective their strategy has been. Like I remember in 2005 when they're building the islands that look like a palm tree, and you're kind of like, it's kind of tacky, kind of gaudy. And then you're studying Arabic and you're not really told that like, oh, wow, the Gulf is this epicenter of culture. They're like, no, you go to Egypt, you go to Baghdad, you go to Beirut. Like these are the Arab towns. But I feel like in the last 15 years, it has worked on the subconscious of the American public where it's like there aren't the Arabs as we think of them are in glass towers in the Gulf.
It is the tacky and gaudy sort of, that is the new stereotype as opposed to, I don't know,
a dusty street corner in Cairo where you're
Yeah.
like eating from a stall or something.
Right.
And where there's actually theoretically like culture and writers and art coming from those places. Like there's no art emanating. I mean, that's probably not fair, but not on a grand scale that I'm aware of. Cairo was always the epicenter of film and all those kind of things, but all that is totally faded away. And we're just talking about arms deals, chip deals, Gulf monarchies. They've just sort of supplanted the rest of the Arab world for Westerners. Okay, so Donnie, not shooting straight.
Didn't you go skiing in one of those airports?
I did. I went skiing in Dubai.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there were.
So you're guilty.
There were U.S. Marines. I slept on a bench. I slept on a bench in a park in Dubai overnight, which is not allowed. Because we landed at like 1 a.m. and we didn't have a hotel. So we got near the hotel and we were checking in for the next day and they said, you can't come in. It's like 3 a.m. So we just went outside and slept on a bench. Yeah. But that was 2010 and the financial crisis had just hit and Dubai was dead. Like all the buildings were there, but there was nothing going on. We went to a restaurant and we were the only people in the restaurant. We went up to the Burj, the hotel, not the giant tower. The hotel, like with the sail and whatever.
Yeah.
And we got in. We said, can we go to that super exclusive bar that we had all seen on like travel shows and stuff? And we go in and we were like one of 10 people in there. I'm like, oh, this is really weird. And the rest of them really genuinely seemed like prostitutes and Russian businessmen. So yeah, so I caught it at a weird time. But yeah, I did do 36 hours. The other people that were at the ski hill were Marines on leave from Iraq, and they were hammered and shirtless and skiing up and down the ski slopes. It's very entertaining. Okay. Then they dared ask about one Jeffrey Epstein, who's been in the news lately.
Wait for Congress to release the Epstein files. Why not just do it now?
It's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. The reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. They're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter.
It's not the question. It's you're a mean bitch, and I don't like you.
Donnie spiraling, and I don't have the video, but did you see he called the other reporter a piggy?
Yeah, on that Air Force One. I did
he
see
said
that.
Quiet piggy.
Yeah.
So yeah, Donnie might be losing touch here a little bit. Okay, so Jeffrey Epstein, he doesn't want to talk about it. Here is Jeffrey Epstein's brother. Last night, and I was really not aware this guy existed until the emails came out. The other Cuomo brother experimenting with a mustache. It's not going great. I would, if I were styling him, I would say skip the mustache.
Yeah.
But here we go. This is Mark Epstein. Knew about the candidates, they'd have to cancel the election. He didn't tell me what he knew, but Jeffrey definitely had dirt on Trump. And you could see in the emails, Trump could deny it all he wants, but it's pretty clear. I mean, everything Trump says is a lie.
But that's not what you were talking about.
It's provable that he was in Jeffrey's office. He said he wasn't in the house. It's provable he was there. He said everything he says is a lie.
Okay, so there's Mark talking about what is in the Epstein files, and he's in a lot of the emails. That famous Bubba, do you have the picture of Trump blowing Bubba?
Yeah.
That was a Mark email. And then he goes on to talk about, and this might be relevant to this bill that is now, I guess, going to pass the Senate. Here's what Mark says about the forthcoming releases.
And the reason for the flip is that they're sounding. What I do want to talk about is I've been recently told the reason they're going to be releasing these things and the reason for the flip is that they're sanitizing these files. There's a facility in Winchester, Virginia, where they're scrubbing the files to take Republican names out. That's what I was told by a pretty good source.
Okay. So I don't know about this Mark Epstein. I don't know that his brother was a great guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you would need a facility. I mean, are they digital? Like, what does it mean to scrub the names? Because if they just release a bunch of redacted files with like, and then blank said whatever to Bubba, I think we're all going to just infer.
Right.
So I am curious about how this is going to go because Donnie's totally flipped and now he wants them released. It just got to the Senate. The Senate's going to pass it. Everybody thought, oh, the Senate's going to kill it. I think the Senate's going to pass it tonight. I think Donnie's going to sign this tomorrow. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen there. Here is the Mark Epstein email about the famous Bubba. Here we go. You and your boy Donnie can make a remake of the movie Get Hard. And I thought I had to Surrey's. I don't know what that means. Ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. All good, Bannon with me. How are you doing? A while back, you mentioned that you were pre-diabetic. Has anything changed with that? What is your boy Donald up to now?
Maybe they're talking about, and this is something you haven't seen. Maybe they're talking about Bubba Kush, blowing Bubba Kush, like really good weed. Because, they talk about blowing gas, it's a euphemism for smoking weed.
So we're going to blow a hole in the teetotaling Trump. And Putin has that of Donnie with a fat J.
Yeah, maybe that's what they mean by blowing Bubba, but
okay, so
it's a reach.
I don't know if this is relevant. There is right on this street where I'm standing 2 nights ago, a New York Jets football player was shot, like probably 150 yards, but on the ground from here. Oof. And there's a Asian restaurant that I've walked by hundreds of times, and I've never thought twice about it. It's called Say Less, SEI Less.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it is the spot for rappers, pop stars to go hang out. The rapper Fabulous has made a rap song called Say Less about this restaurant. And apparently it's like a hip hop institution, like 150 yards from here. And at like 2 a.m. the other night, a Jets cornerback got shot. He's going to be okay. It sounds like, which thank goodness. But there's an Instagram video of a ruckus. Some fellas mixing it up in the street and then bang, bang. And then like a Maybach just speeds away. But anyway, I don't know if that's related, but I thought I'd share it. So yeah. Are you familiar with Fabulous? I know the name, but I don't think I can.
Yeah, he was kind of bigger in the 2010, the like mid-aughts, I want to say. He's been around for a while, but yeah, look at this.
Look at that.
38th Street between 7th and Broadway is fairly generic. Kava here, dig in there. And then you have a massive photorealistic mural of an Asian woman in a cheongsam with a sultry finger held to her lips. Blah, 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 blah.
I thought you were just describing it off the top of your head. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I got the gift.
Tremendous.
Gab.
You have ChatGPT just right into your head? That was great.
This is from a GQ writer.
Sounded like an Olivia Nuzzi article.
French Montana. Dude, I started reading
That's the other
stuff.
person. I got some at the end. We're going to do a little. It's awesome.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the situation. Now, here's the update on the East Wing. You got a question. Have you seen the South Park about the East Wing?
Yeah, the haunted East Wing.
The haunted East Wing?
Yeah.
The master has awoken his spirit in the East Wing. So good. That was did you see the most recent one?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh. I can't even describe it, but because it'll ruin it. But it's the most outrageous South Park I've seen, like since it first started, and all of it was shocking.
Yeah.
For this season, it's like a 12. I thought the one about the East Wing was the best story structure, but the most outrageous episode they made was the most recent one. I'll just leave it there.
All right.
Trump jokes. Here you go.
It's going to be beautiful. It's it's a very popular thing what we're doing. And by the way, no government funds. It's all put up private money, all private money. And in the case, I think it's there's a restriction on foreigners. Otherwise, I could have asked you just for a check. Okay, but and it's going to be beautiful.
He is so just direct with people about how he sees them. He's like, you're just a man who could write me a check if I needed you. So here is who is paying for our new East Wing. Funding sources entirely funded by private donors. Structure is going to be a 90,000-foot ballroom. Notable donors include Amazon, Apple, Booz Allen, Caterpillar, Coinbase, Comcast, Google, Hard Rock International, which I think is gambling, HP, Lockheed, Meta, Microsoft, Palantir, Reynolds American, Ripple, T-Mobile, Tether America, Union Pacific. And then here we get the Lutnick family, the Adelsons, Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, and others. So that's who's paying for our new ballroom, the Winklevoss twins.
Cool.
But Bitcoin is down. Not that it's going to slow them down, but anyway, just make sure you're getting that in cash instead of, Tether or whatever. You hold any stable coin? What's your crypto portfolio looking like?
What was the new Connor O'Malley video? The Adobe sponsored emotional coin.
No, I didn't see.
You put out another one of those videos, that he
Okay.
puts out when he's announcing tour dates or whatever.
That's great.
It's it's connected by a Neuralink to your emotions.
Fantastic. Okay, and then he came clean about why he released or lifted some of the sanctions, and I got some detail on what those sanctions were. But here he is with MBS talking sanctions.
I will tell you, the Crown Prince called me, and he specifically asked me if I would lift the sanctions on Syria because he wants to see Syria make it. As you know, the leader of Syria was just here. We had a great meeting, and he's a strong guy, and I guess you need a strong person to run it. And I think Syria has made tremendous progress. We did lift the sanctions at the request of the Crown Prince. Also, the president of Turkey, Erdogan, called me specifically.
Yeah, because they want to make trillions of dollars rebuilding it. You know how rich Turkey got off rebuilding Iraq, just like from cement alone, I think?
Is that right? Okay. I didn't.
Chance.
A lot of money to, rebar and concrete.
The two of them and some others, I lifted the sanctions.
Okay, so MBS, according to the man himself, is the reason why. And then here are the actual sanctions. So like you said, the $10 million bounty was lifted previously, but until November 7th, he was on a treasury list, listed as a specially designated global terrorist. Shada has been released or lifted off of that. He's no longer on the list. The UN removed him from its sanctions list. And then the Caesar sanctions had been suspended in May, and they've been resuspended. It was about to expire, and it's been resuspended for another 180 days. Excludes transactions involving Russia or Iran, but it is lifted for the moment. So that's, again, one of those weird moments where Donnie just listening to whoever he's on the phone with isn't the worst thing.
Yeah.
Because Syria absolutely cannot do anything under those sanctions. Okay, here is them trying to, round this out with a cool high five.
He's one of the historical presidents that have close ties with Saudi Arabia.
But
we've worked with all presidents.
Does Trump blow them all away?
No, it's another league, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
And Trump doesn't give.
Let's just get one more there.
No, it's another league.
And Trump doesn't give a fist pump. I grab that hand. I don't give a hell where that hand's been. I grab that hand. I grab that hand. I don't give a hell where that hand's been. I grab that hand.
And Reagan.
Where has that hand been, Donnie? What do you know? He is a fist bump guy. I did try to find a picture of him doing a bump, and I can't find any. He's not a bump guy. He does the fist pump when he comes out of the plane or when he gets shot at. But in general, he does seem to be a high five guy, even though he struggled there. Okay, now let's get into what's going on in Riyadh here. You saw the Riyadh Comedy Festival. We talked about this a little.
Yeah, and it was funny. There was some podcast that was doing a bit where they redid the poster, and they put like what's his name? Bill
Burr?
No, Bill the rapey grandpa guy.
Cosby.
Bill Cosby, yeah. They put in some like really thoroughly disgraced comedians' photos on the square, array, and it got picked up in some news segments who didn't know any better.
Well, okay, so what was interesting about it was they did get theoretically your more intellectual. They also got your Andrew Schultz's and your other kind of broy podcasters, but Bill Burr went.
Yeah, that was the big surprise, the big letdown.
Shane Gillis said no, but Bill Burr said yes.
Right.
But then Bill Burr came back and got yelled at by everybody, and then he got really mad at everybody.
Yeah.
So all of these sanctimonious cunts out there, they don't really sincerely give a shit, he said. If you actually give a fuck about those people and how they're living over there, they're going to have to be these type of things to pull them in. And I will tell you, here we go. The Cheesecake Factory in Riyadh, it's incredible. It's right next to Pizza Hut and KFC. And if you want a pair of Timberlands, it's across the street next to the Marriott, catty corner to the fucking Hilton. Burr also said that the U.S. was moving towards Saudi Arabia with ICE, fucking grabbing moms and dads, sticking them in a van for illegally making fucking tacos, which he called fucking insane.
So what's your point? Everything's bad, and you took like what? They've got a lot of brands over there, and it's bad in America. And I took money from the evil prince,
right? And I mean, it is that whole thing where, like, if you put a Sheraton anywhere, people will feel safe inside the brand of a Sheraton. Mm-hmm. And it is actually this weird, effective thing where, like, Bill Burr lands and sees a Cheesecake Factory, and it's actually just like a product of whatever, like American economic imperialism, neoliberal penetration, whatever. And he's like, hey, they're just like us.
It can't be that bad. Yeah.
Can't be that bad if there's a Cheesecake Factory here.
The world is flat.
The world is flat, and also we're doing the same thing here.
Yeah,
which was a really interesting.
We're getting to be just as bad as them, you know.
Right, but I'm like, but Bill, I don't like either of these things.
20 years, we'll be chopping up journalists, you know. Right. So who's to say?
Rob, believe me, Donnie, I think wants to chop up a couple. But yeah, brand washing was the thing I came up with.
Yeah.
You know, you surround people with enough familiar things and they're going to assume, well, I don't know, like the first McDonald's in Moscow after the fall of after the fall of the Soviet Union. I remember like there's a video of it and 150 people in line. And it's like, oh, we're going to be pals with these guys because we gave them McDonald's.
We buy the same tallow steak French fries that they do. How bad can they be?
Right. Anyway, so yeah, a little bit of a tough look there for our man Bill Burr, who I previously thought was kind of more thoughtful than that, because on a lot of issues he is. But he's throwing his hands up. I think this is the whole everything's bad, so why even pick a fight or pick a place to stand? Yeah. So, all right, that is the Mohammed bin Salman visit.
Well, the other, the one thing that's in the background is that the Neom is dead, right? The line.
You've said that, yeah. I didn't look into it, but that would be.
So that's he's trying to recover from that fumble because that was a lot of money.
He said somewhere else in here, I couldn't find the clip, that he was going to invest $600 billion, but today in the Oval Office, he raised it to $1 trillion. And then Donnie was like, trillion with a T? And he was like, $1 trillion with a T. Now, the gross domestic product of Saudi Arabia is $1.1 trillion. So they're going to invest all of their money into the United States, apparently. I wouldn't count on it.
Right.
But yeah, you can just show up, and if you give him a good press conference, man, he's gonna give you F-35s. Okay, now here's the kind of the weirdness that's happening, and I think it's just like a total lack of any other leadership in the world. But the Trump peace plan passed as a UN resolution, maybe yesterday or maybe today. Everybody voted in favor, and then Russia and China just, abstained. And what was interesting, so this is part of the plan. Nobody quite knows what's in it. There's like a PowerPoint of it. I don't think it's the full thing we saw 2 months ago with the Tesla Gigafactory, but it's definitely like part of that plan. I'd say in those PowerPoints, like, you know, this is in there, but then there's more.
Put a Cheesecake Factory there so Bill Burr can feel safe and happy.
Bill Burrow feels safe and happy. The Hamas was not included in any of the discussions, but the Palestinian Authority's foreign minister supports it, because it does eventually say that there could be a two-state solution, which honestly at this point, like, that's probably better than the alternative of not passing anything. But this does create the International Security Force, and Donnie is listed, I think, as the chairman of the Board of Peace for Gaza, which is all just very surreal. Yeah. But yeah, this passed today. So he's getting his, and then Netanyahu said, we're not going to possible plan to a sovereign Palestinian state. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said they have staunch opposition to the creation, about whether Israel will allow any of this to be implemented. I think Donnie just likes having leverage on anyone he knows. There's like no, which in this case, I suppose is a good thing. But like, it's him not trusting Canada, him not trusting. There was that interview last week with Laura Ingraham, and they were talking about Chinese students coming to the US. And she said, we're not talking about French students. And he was like, oh, you think the French are better than the Chinese? And Laura Ingraham, it's like, oh, absolutely. And he's like, oh, the French aren't so great. We have a lot of problems with the French. It's just like whoever he is in contact with, he's got to have some negative, pullback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Complicated web in that brain.
Yep. And then, here's the foreign minister. Okay. In the midst of the Epstein crisis, his daughter his granddaughter playing in a LPGA Tour golf event this weekend yesterday, and then Mohammed bin Salman coming today. Yesterday, he went and spoke at the McDonald's franchise convention. And it's tremendous.
To not hear about this.
And wages for hourly workers are rising at the fastest pace in 60 years. And sometimes you might say, was that good or bad? It's great for you. The minimum wage thing you'll have to be talking about. You're going to have to fight. We were talking about
Okay, so let's just hear it one more time. There's a lot of ideas in this 15-second clip.
Wages for hourly workers are rising at the
minimum wage is rising. Good.
Years, and sometimes you might say, was that good or bad? It's great for you. The minimum wage thing you'll have to be talking about. You're going to have to fight. You're going to have to fight.
So touting rising minimum wage and then telling the franchise owners that they're going to have to fight. It's the perfect, like, Donnie just gets everything. Like, yeah. I'm going to tell everyone how good it is that the minimum wage is up. And then I'm going to tell the franchise owners to fight it. And then, like, everyone's like, well, he told me to fight. And then the minimum wage earners are like, well, my minimum wage is up. Like, everything's good. Yeah, it is. It's his gift.
Everything to everyone.
Everything to everyone. Absolutely. Then he went a little bit off script and gave them a little bit of a, I don't know. What do we say? A tip?
Beautiful, hard work, and happy family sitting down to a really great meal.
Guy loves McDonald's.
Who you are, everyone loves something at McDonald's. There's always something to have. I like.
Listen, they got if you're Catholic, you can't even eat on Friday. Guess what they got?
Fillet of fish, man. In Chicago, their Friday sales were just dead, and he's about to get into the fillet of fish.
I like it.
All right,
I like the fish.
Fish.
I like it. You could do a little bit more tartar sauce, though, please. Seriously. I hate when I said, "Do you have any tartar sauce?" Do you understand that? Yes, I have. He understands
that. There you go. A little more tartar sauce. Do you have a go-to order at McDonald's? Are you a sicko like me?
No. No, I don't go there enough. I do at Wendy's. I like Wendy's a lot better. Well, it's also the franchises in town, like the McDonald's. Well, the Wendy's is actually pretty bad. They're all pretty bad in terms of like fast food. Just like you think you're gonna go inside to like beat the system and get served faster by getting out of your car, but then they're all just nobody comes to the counter for 10 minutes because they're all too busy doing like the line of 20 backed up cars. So you're like,
100%. They prioritize the the drive-through. It's a huge problem. So lately, the New York Jets pack. All right, $15.99, 20-piece nuggets, 2 cheeseburgers, 2 medium fries, and 1 soda. This is for one human. And I've eaten 90% of this like 3 times.
I remember we used to get these once in a while at Siri Direct. They had some sort of big combo meal. It was a couple like Big Macs, a couple of fries, a couple of boxes of nuggets, and a couple of sodas. It was something similar to this. And I remember once or twice we got this for the office, or like for some of us.
I feel like they're like, when we were abroad in the Middle East, there were lots of packaged meals that weren't just they come in fun boxes.
Yeah.
And this thing, dude, it's like a Happy Meal for adults. You just open it up and everything hits you. It's massive.
Honestly, that's like the cheeseburgers, like 2 cheeseburgers is the equivalent of like one, like it's less calories than a quarter pounder, probably.
It's an appetizer.
2 medium French fries. Now you're confused, and why not just like 1 large fries? And
if one of them dumps out, like you kind of don't even notice. You're like, this might have been 1 large fry. It's the 20 nuggets. When you're like 16 nuggets in, you're like, this is too many.
Yeah.
15 might be the number, because I can do 10. I can do 10 like nothing.
I could get it if it was like, here's a taste. Here's like 6.
Yeah.
Who's really trying to cram their protein, their macros, with like rounding it out with 20 nuggets?
20. Yeah. No, I found it insurmountable. I don't think I've gotten through all 20. But yeah. And then you think about how you're going to do it. I'm going to start with the cheeseburgers, maybe a little bit of fry in between, but save the fries for the end in the event that you're still hungry. But then you get tons of sweet and sour, because it's like unlimited on the app. They're like, if you're getting the Jets pack, you just bang, 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 bang. And
they're not.
It's same sort of deal. You do the pickup, because if you're waiting in line in a McDonald's now, you're a schmuck.
Yeah.
Like you're just standing there and you're seeing the online orders like get ahead of you.
Yeah.
Like they're jumping the line as they're getting the orders in, and you're just standing there. So
yeah, it feels bad because I want to be a grumpy old fashioned person who still talks to humans, but they punish you. They're punishing you for being an upstanding citizen and getting out of your car, or trying to order it in person.
A lot of them around here now have giant digital ordering.
Yeah. Don't talk to a human.
Yeah, totally. The ones in Manhattan are like some of the worst places on earth. But if you're in North Jersey, like some of the best high schoolers you've ever met, incredible. Like 4.0 students, those places hum so great.
Do they have
around?
Do they have Chick-fil-A there yet?
There is, yeah.
Because here the big thing is that you get like the most polite, like scarily polite, efficient, like 15-year-olds running these Chick-fil-A's like, Marine boot camp.
Right. And they're closed on Sunday. Yeah, God's Day, no chicken. The other thing that just came to town is Raisin Canes. Have you had that?
No.
It's like a big southern, it's a chicken tender.
Yeah, it's like Zaxby's.
Yeah. And they're almost like tempura. It's pretty good, I gotta say. The chicken's really nice, and the breading, it's like freshly fried. You can taste it. Pretty good, I gotta say.
You can't go more than like a half mile without running into some place where you can get fried chicken in Oxford. Because every gas station has fried chicken, and it's pretty good. And then there's a bajillion chains also all doing fried chicken, which don't make as much sense to me, because like they're not. If the gas station's just going to have as good fried chicken, then why are you doing a whole brick and mortar that only does the fried chicken? It's not selling you gas or cigarettes.
I heard about this in New Orleans, that like the place to go is actually to the gas station to get fried chicken. That'll be the best meal you have, but I didn't make it happen because there's no gas stations in the French Quarter. But okay. So there's Donnie speaking to the happy franchise owners. And then here for dessert, we have Olivia Nuzzi, New York reporter, involved in apparently a digital-only affair with RFK Jr. And then she just released her new book. She got a big profile in the New York Times. This is an excerpt talking about the supposed worm in RFK Jr.'s head. All right. I did not like to think about it, just as later I would not like to think about the worm in his brain that other people found so funny. I loved his brain. I hated the idea of an intruder therein. Others thought he was a madman. He was not quite mad the way they thought, but I loved the private ways that he was mad. I loved that he was insatiable in all ways, as if he would swallow up the whole world just to know it better if he could. This is really bad. He made me laugh, but I winced when he joked about the worm. Baby, don't worry, he said. It's not a worm. A doctor he trusted had reviewed the scans of his brain obtained by the New York Times, he said, and concluded that the shadowy figure was likely not a parasite at all. He sighed. It was too late to interfere with what had already vaulted from the sphere of meme to the sphere of screwy legend. But at least I did not have to worry about the worm that was not a worm in his brain.
I've seen a bunch of these, and I can't, like, at first I was like, this feels like the J.D. Vance fucking a couch excerpt. Like, it just can't be real. You know, the alarms my internet brain were just like, this is too good to be true. But
she's a real, so it comes out in the book that she had an affair with Mark Sanford as well.
Well, yeah, because I read the Talos thing from the guy her ex-husband.
It's coming up next.
Okay.
And if they had a baby, they would have created the worst writer in the history of the world. Okay, so here's his thing. I mean, the first one, when he's describing her backpack, is painful. But this is when he realized what was going on. This is Ryan Lizza, also a New York reporter. I think he's gone now.
What did he get? Yeah, it doesn't. He mentions he got fired, and it's
I think
why.
There was like suggestions of harassment. I think she said that he did a bunch of stuff in their breakup that was unethical. So he said, that's when I noticed the sheets of Kimpton Hotel stationery that would alter the course of our lives. It's surreal now to think back to that room, the one overlooking the courtyard garden that became a metaphor for our decade-long entanglement. It was dazzling during spring's full bloom and foreboding when winter stripped all signs of life. And lurking underground way in the back was the invasive bamboo, which grows like a cancer, and if not tamed, would march through the entire courtyard and kill everything. I spent hours hacking at the sprouts to keep the bamboo at bay, just as I had with all the secrets that Olivia and I shared.
Spent hours hacking this fucking bamboo metaphor into your readers.
This is really tough. So she wrote this book, and I wonder, I mean, there's this whole thing where like there are not editors anymore. Like they don't exist. Nobody's paying anyone to edit anything. And then this is his Substack. So this is probably just him like
off the cuff. Yeah.
It's a tough look, man. But when you think about her, right, she slept with Sanford. She had an affair with RFK Jr. She was a kept woman by, that's probably not the right phrase. But Keith Olbermann and her dated for 4 years. Olbermann paid her rent, bought her $10,000 worth of jewelry, bought her bags, all kinds of things. For 4 years, he did that. So she has had a series of dalliances with old white guys in journalism and politics. And yeah, so there you go. You know, you wonder.
Only, so the RFK stuff was, I think this came up before. It was not in person. It was only.
She claims that
parasocial.
He hasn't said anything. Cheryl Hines, RFK's wife from Curb Your Enthusiasm, said that it would be laughable if it wasn't so horrible. All the things she's saying. She's saying that Olivia is lying. But in her book, she said that RFK said he wants Olivia to have her baby, have his baby. So, you know, Olivia, man, weaves a tangled web. She's living in Malibu. The New York Times profile, I think, without a critical lens, you would go, oh, this is a nice profile. But when you really think about it, it's like upsetting. And I hope she's okay.
Yeah.
Because it seems very paranoid. She sees drones flying along the Malibu beaches and she's worried they might be looking at her. And you're like, Olivia, outside of a very narrow subset of Twitter, nobody knows who you are, what this is. And I think in LA, it's a real small cross section of people who know what you're talking about. But anyway, journalism, not great at the moment. It's just one of those things where, like, if I think, you know, she's a beautiful woman, fine. She shows up in a place with old, like, it just seems like these guys will throw everything away for for their shot at Olivia Nuzzi. And yeah,
it seems to blow up in everyone's face.
Yeah. So anyway,
it makes for great I don't know, guilty reading though. Just the details of this,
it's so scary to write earnestly.
Yeah,
because it's a real we're just like looking into your brain, and it's like we're all like, no, like not good. And I'm sure he worked for hours on this, and he's adding these little, parentheticals, a lot of commas, we're doing all kinds of clauses. Yeah.
You're putting lipstick on the pig. It's even
we're gilding the lily pretty hard here.
Yeah,
right?
It makes it more interesting when you're just like, this raw details of this are so just like
when he recalls this day that ruined his life. Does the bamboo metaphor, or are you just filled with rage that the person, I guess you were dating, maybe engaged to, had an affair, but you're like, no, it's like the bamboo in that courtyard. It's just so. It's rough. It's a tough look.
I mean, yeah, it's embarrassing enough without the prose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If this was if it was just the prose or just the story, they'd both be bad. And now you've just in both cases.
These are two leading, New York Magazine, which is not the top, but it's pretty high. And you go, wow, let's hear these literary titans tell their side of the story. And you're reading it, and you're like, oh, this is painful. This is not good. This isn't Joyce Carol Oates. I don't know. Whoever she dated in the 60s, and they're going back and forth in the New York Observer. I don't know if that ever happened, but I in my mind, there's like a more compelling version of this that's less embarrassing. But
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, dude. Anything else exciting you saw around the internet these weeks?
Let me see what I've been liking on Twitter. Probably not, though.
Yeah. Oh, are you still liking on Twitter? That's a good kind of your bookmark system.
Yeah, and to make sure my algorithm is feeding me things that I care about.
Okay. Have I told you I have a pure wild algorithm where I've never followed or liked anything?
Oh yeah, that'll throw you for a loop.
I just get the Elon full blast.
Elon Musk keeps getting owned about Roman history by a guy who's just like a Roman history expert.
You talking about Roman helmet guy?
Yeah. I was like,
dude, so much Bill Ackman dating advice, the may I meet you thing. It's like, are we all just watching the same 9 weirdos?
But so this thing, the Operation 18 Naked Cowboys at Ram Ranch.
Sure.
In the shower at Ram Ranch. So listen to the song. Have you listened to it?
I did.
So
I listened to a part of it. It seems to be an hour long. Yeah.
There's an hour-long version of it. Back when I lived in DC with roommates, one subset of roommates, 2 of them were friends, and one of them left before the other. And he was like a cybersecurity tech nerd. He worked, or I don't know if he still does, works for CrowdStrike.
That's different than Cloudflare.
Yeah, CrowdStrike was somehow involved with the Biden laptop.
Laptop.
Anyways, he's like a smart guy. And he programmed like a Raspberry Pi, which is like a tiny computer, basically.
Simple Android operating system. Yeah,
exactly. And he put it in the bathroom with rigged up to a motion detector or something, so that when one of his friend, our other roommate, would take a shower, this song.
I don't like where this is going.
This song would play.
Okay.
It would just start going 18 naked cowboys in the shower, Ramrod Ranch, and everything would just go off every time.
Wow,
for like a week until
that's impressive. Yeah,
that's the type of, he used his brain for his talents for
good,
something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It seems like there's an aircraft carrier in the Caribbean, and it's not clear. Because I've been reading, Venezuela doesn't really do much cartel stuff at all. Cocaine comes from Colombia, but most of it's trafficked through the Pacific. Fentanyl mostly comes from China, but also mostly from Mexico. So this whole Venezuela fixation seems misguided. It makes me think they're mad about something else. And yeah, there's an aircraft carrier in the Caribbean. So
I don't
careful if
know.
you're on vacation. If you're on a Royal Caribbean cruise, keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, like if you're in Aruba, you can see Venezuela. I got a buddy who's down there right now, and he said like it's right there. You can see it. So yeah.
Yeah. When I was looking at the map when you're in Antigua, we're like, yeah, we're way closer to Venezuela than like anything else.
Yeah.
Aruba
and Bonaire, the Dutch Antilles.
The former Dutch possessions.
Yeah.
Are they that far? I can't even see them on the Antigua.
Aruba,
Antigua's kind of far north, but yeah, they're all off the coast. Like a lot of the products and stuff come from
Curacao
and Guyana.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right up there. That would make sense. That's very close.
Yeah.
So that was interesting, like having your map sort of.
Now the Caribbean, it gets way further south
than you think.
I've never actually been down there, but I took a course on Caribbean history, and we did study many of the islands. We took an island. We only had 10 weeks, but we had an island each week. And we did a week on St. Martin, 2 A's and an E, which is the island that's divided between the French and the Dutch. But we did a deep dive on the history of the Dutch in the Caribbean. And yeah, it's interesting. I think Puerto Rico is probably our most, and Haiti. Haiti was probably the most interesting one down there. Cuba as well, but I think we stayed away from Cuba because it's like a whole bigger ball game. So
yeah, Aruba's even smaller than Antigua. Antigua's kind of big. But Antigua's not in that Beach Boys song, so nobody knows about it.
I saw photos of warships in St. Croix, which I don't know how regular that is, but it's like a cruise dock in the USS Iwo Jima, and then the MV Ocean Trader, which is like the famous naval supply ship that like rolls things on and off. We're parked on the cruise ship dock in St. Croix. So just very bizarre visuals of a place that's like, oh, people go here to snorkel.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, no, Twitter, what did I have? I think we talked about a bunch of this stuff last week. I don't know, Dave Portnoy whining.
Yeah, the Dave Portnoy CBS stuff. Yeah, it's interesting. And then he was yelling at one of his co-hosts, and that guy is now on leave. Yeah, I mean, I sort of agree with Dave Portnoy's point about hate speech, but it just seems like something that he has not practiced his entire life.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he's outraged by it. I'm like, I think you're right. I don't think you deserve to have people yell that at you in the street. I think it's bad.
You've mostly encouraged, death threat. Yeah, like it's all fun and games until you're the fucking snowflake.
100%. That Mississippi State student or whoever that was, but 18-year-old in Starkville, I imagine probably is or was a
big Barstool guy.
I'm like, this is the core.
So I thought there were no rules, man. I thought we just said whatever we fucking felt like all the time, and there's not supposed to be consequences.
Right. So, yeah, the new CBS. Have you been watching? We used to watch 60 Minutes fairly regularly. Like Carly likes it. It's we can do new. We don't watch a lot of news anymore, but like Sunday nights we would watch it a lot. But I have not been keeping up post Barry Weiss takeover because I just feel like it's getting like fluffier, and I just don't trust it to be meaningful. Because they still would occasionally do like important things where like my mom would see a story about Syria or something, and then she would be like, I saw this thing, right? It still did like connect with the boomer mind. But now I'm just not sure what the point of 60 Minutes is. So
it used to be like the kind of bellwether. Here's what people are thinking about mainstream news,
right? But now boomers' brains are also cooked by the algorithm. So it's like
total mush. Yeah.
So
they're in darker corners of the internet.
Yeah,
if they're online at all.
Yeah.
Nah, man, that's all I got.
Cool.
What
are you doing for what are you doing?
Yeah, we're driving we're flying to Boston, then driving up to my brother's place in upstate New York.
Oh, nice. Where in upstate New York?
Putnam Valley.
Okay.
Which is like an hour north of the city. We're gonna stop at Sleepy Hollow, because that's
great.
cool that's there.
It's a super cool town. We go apple picking at a farm up there, and then we go pumpkin picking. Yeah, that part of the Hudson Valley is like gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. Like 3 weeks ago when the leaves are turning, it's much more hilly than I realized. It's not quite mountainous like Colorado style, but for the East Coast, like it's a lot of geography up there. And yeah, it's great. The little towns they're very quaint.
Yeah.
Like West Point's right up there and Sleepy Hollow. They do like a Headless Horseman festival around Thanksgiving that's supposed to be really great.
Oh, really? I haven't even seen what their Chamber of Commerce is advertising. I'll have to check, but
yeah, check it out. And I think they do tons of holiday stuff because they're always advertising for New Yorkers to come up for the weekend and stuff. So that's cool. I am going to Mexico.
Oh, right.
Going to Puerto Vallarta with the family.
Yeah.
And we're staying in an all-inclusive. We're doing it. My big worry is a 6-hour flight with 2 kids.
Yeah.
But thank God we're in New York. There's a direct once a week on United. So straight shot, 6 hours. And then we're in Puerto Vallarta for a week. And we've been to this place like 9 years ago. It's nice. It's touristy, but there's like lots of good Mexican restaurants and it's a beach. And it should be good. So just got to survive the flight, which I'm anxious about, but we'll get through it. So
they do have Sleepy Hollow lantern tours and the Great Jack-O-Lantern Blaze. And
that's cool. What it is, the Jack-O-Lantern Blaze.
Hell
yeah, dude. Check it out.
Sweet. Well, have fun in Mexico.
Dude.
Hope you can get turkey there.
I know we're out. It's a Sheraton. They show the NFL games on like a giant screen. The employees are all Mexican and they're great, but it'll just be American and like Canadian tourists watching football, eating tacos. They bring in mariachi bands. It's a lot of fun. There is like an old town that you can walk to that's like been there for 200 years and it's like old Spanish architecture. And there's like a Senor Frogs, it's a little touristy out, but it's kind of cool. So anyway, we'll check that out.
Cool.
Yeah, dude. All right, man. Well, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll check in after the holiday.
Sounds good.
All right, later, man. Have a good week.
You too.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You don't want to leave.
We'll see you all next time on the Smoke and Hat Podcast.